the first person I ever interviewed. YouTube channel that I just started. Good afternoon. மணி வந்து 1:15. இன்னைக்கு ஆர்யா ராஜம் அப்படின்னு ஒரு பொண்ணை சந்திக்க போகிறோம். ஆர்யா ராஜம் வந்து பிரபல நடன வல்லுனர் அனிதா ரத்னமோட டாட்டரு, அருமையான எழுத்தாளர். இதில் விசேஷம் என்னென்னா, அவங்க எழுதின புஸ்தகத்தில் வந்து ஹீரோயின், புஸ்தகத்தில் ஹீரோயின் வந்து அவளுக்கு வில்வித்தை தெரியும், ஆர்ச்சரி தெரியும். ஸோ வில்வித்தைன்னா என்ன, அது எப்படி கற்றுக்கணும், அது கற்றுக்கிறவங்க எல்லாம் எப்படி பிஹேவ் பண்ணுவாங்கன்னு தெரிகிறதுக்காக இந்த பொண்ணு ஆர்ச்சரி கிளாஸ்க்கு வந்து ஃபுல்லாக ஆர்ச்சரியில் ட்ரெயின் பண்ணிவிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் அந்த புஸ்தகத்தை எழுதுனாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்க திருப்பி இன்னொரு புஸ்தகத்தையும் எழுதுனாங்க, டுவெல் ட்ராகன் த்ரோன் அப்படின்னா. அவங்கள தான் இன்றைக்கி நம்ம சந்திக்க போகிறோம். மீட் ஆர்யா ராஜம். முதல்ல ஆர்யா ராஜம், what would you like to be called? Because we all know you as Arya, but then in the book, why did you put it as A. Rajam?
Oh, A. Rajam has the right numerology, I believe in all
so
that.
So you believe in numerology?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. So much like the author, because the author is, of the two books that I've read, is a person who believes in everything, like witches and fairies, and you live in a different world altogether.
Yeah.
Now, so that's the reason why you kept it as A. Rajam.
Yeah, and I wanted little anonymity, so that's why I chose. I wanted little anonymity, so that's why I chose A.
Why
Rajam.
would you like anonymity?
Well, I mean, there's a reason. I do want the book to be known. I'm glad people are talking about it. I'm glad people like it, but I'm a little more of a private person. For example, I didn't want my photograph at the back of the book on the jacket or at the back, because I want a little privacy, and that's just who I am.
Writers like to be read, and they like to connect to their readers, and somewhere down the line they want the readers to also get to know them. Why would you prefer anonymity?
So actually what you don't know is there are a lot of authors who really like anonymity even more than me, like the author of the original Carolyn Keene, the author of the creator of the famous Nancy Drew series. She was so private that she never gave like any interview, only one interview.
I have attended one of your book launch functions in Chennai, and there you connect to the people. So a person who is very, very private, why would you like to connect to the people? Why did you go for a launch?
Well, no, I don't think you've understood. Private doesn't mean I won't do a book launch. Of course I do. You must connect to the readers. There's social media. I have a website for the book, an author page where I post on regularly, because it's important to do that, be in touch with your readers.
You're not on Facebook?
I am.
Do you have put your photograph there?
Yes.
That's completely, opposite of whatever you're saying.
Okay. Well, social media, I don't like to post too many pictures, but it's important to use it. That's the only way you can market your book, market any product, any company you work in.
Can you tell my viewers something about who you are? How did you start your life? Something in a nutshell about you.
Okay, so I was born in New York City, but I came back to Madras with my mom when I was just 2.5. So this city is something I've got a very deep love for, very strong
Could you tell
connection
something
with.
about your parents? Would you like to?
Well, I was raised by my mother. She's a single parent, and she's an artist too, so she encouraged me to follow my artistic passion. So yes, she's very
What
feminist.
kind of art does she do?
Huh?
What kind of art does she practice?
Well,
What form of art?
She's a contemporary dancer.
Dancer, okay.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of her. So so I grew up with her and in my grandparents' home. So I do definitely appreciate the arts.
Where did you study?
theatre.
Schooling
Huh?
in New York?
No, I did school in SHIHAN in Madras.
Okay.
So I've grown up here from age 2.5, like I said. Though my Tamil's not good, I've grown up here, believe it or not. And I've chosen never to leave. I did college here. I've always...
Which college was that?
I did literature and Stella Maris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was very fascinated by books and reading. Right from that age, I wanted to be an author.
Who is your favorite author?
Well, J.K. Rowling is one of my favorites. Salman Rushdie is one of my favorites.
Have you read
if I
all
can
his
say.
books?
Huh?
Have you read Salman's books, all the books?
Not all of them, but some of them.
Surprisingly, I
I want to
bought
read
all
of them.
his books. I've not read a single one.
Oh, you're not against.
No, 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 no. I'm not a Muslim the way you think a Muslim is. Certainly not.
Okay, so he's an excellent writer. J.K. Rowling, I'm a big fan of the Harry Potter series.
Did it influence your writing?
Um, no, not really. See, meaning I think when you try and write, like a lot of fantasy writers, they try and imitate Tolkien and they try and imitate others, but that's something I never wanted to do. I always wanted to develop my own style. So Harry Potter is amazing, and she also does a lot of philanthropy and charity. So that's why I'm a big fan of hers.
What kind of philanthropy are you in? What kind of charity are you in?
Well, I think it's very important to do so. So right now, my main cause, I was saying, is telling people to adopt, not shop. Adopt dogs or cats for pets, to not buy, because so many people buy breeded cats and dogs, abandon them on the roads. So that is my main form of charity now, to give money to sterilize neighborhood dogs and cats, vaccinate them. I'm trying to feed.
What interests me, my archers, and probably all the viewers and all the archers in this country would be your fascination for archery. And the central character in your second book is an archer. And I was very happy when you came down just for the purpose of knowing everything about archery to make your character very realistic.
Yes.
And you learned archery. You're pretty good at archery too at that particular time. So why did you choose an archer as your central character?
This book, A Jewel Dragon Throne, thank you for the compliments, is a very exciting novel to read, because it has wizards and magic in it, but the central quest that Princess Aurora embarks on to seek out and destroy an evil object to prevent the world from ending is what is very exciting. And she starts off as a fiery, very spoiled princess, but you see her finding more bravery as she goes on, and you see her changing, and that was a very compelling character for me to write. And also there is the charismatic wizard Alexar, the archer Gaia, who's a warrior, very good with the sword, very brave, very brash. And these are three of the characters who are very exciting to read about. They all go on the quest together and they encounter dangers, dragons, magical creatures. So there's also political intrigue in the book between kingdoms that I found very exciting to put down.
Is it going to be a trilogy? Are you going to write one more?
Yes, it is going to be a trilogy. Maybe it will become 4 books, I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
But yes, so there was a sneak peek. I don't want to give away the ending of book 1, but there was a sneak peek into the start of book 2 at the end of book 1. It has a shocking scene right at the start involving the king from another land. So I think that's all I can say for now.
Arya, could you tell me something about your third book? Would you let me have a peek preview into your third book?
Okay, yes. So I'm a slow writer for the third book. Yes, I write every day a few pages, and I'm in draft 2. Focus more on Princess Aurora and the intrigue between her kingdom and other kingdoms, and the kings of the other 4 main kingdoms in this fantasy land, how there's a power game between them, political intrigue, who wants to gain more power, which kingdom is dominating over the others.
How did your first book do? How did your second book do?
So my first book got good feedback, and my first and second were not bestsellers, but importantly the first one got good feedback, and it was meant for young adults. Some of them said they really liked it, and for the first book, just to get it out and get it published, I was so happy. With the second book, I'm happy people liked it a lot more than the first one.
Some people write for fame, some people write for money, some people write for an inner satisfaction. Some people just like to explore and experiment. What kind of writer are you?
Well, I'm not somebody who wanted to write for money or for fame, but for me it's just the love of the art of writing. So I'm very passionate about it. Just like, you're a painter, you're passionate about sculpture, and you're passionate about art, and you're passionate about teaching
Are you a
archery.
dreamer?
Huh?
Are you a dreamer?
Yes, I tend to daydream
Do your
a lot.
dreams creep into your book?
No.
No?
No, not really.
Has your book crept into your dreams?
That's a good question. I think actually the answer is yes. The book did creep into my dreams once. There are some days on which I woke up with an idea and said, okay, I'm going to write this down for book 2 or 3. So that has happened to me.
The way you've been describing your characters in your book, you start actually believing that they exist. And do you? And you say that you are very reserved person living in your own world. Do you live in your world with these characters? Do the characters that come around your mind in your mind space whenever you go through this world?
No, and as much as I love these characters, I know that they're not real. It's a fantasy world. While you read it, I hope readers will believe it's real. But no, they don't come into my real world mind space. But actually, while I'm writing, they do. While I'm writing, I can picture them alive in my head, saying things, doing things, going on the quest in this case, and I can just picture them as real life characters. But I do know that's an imaginary world, and that's a fantasy world, and there's a real world.
Son, what would you advise a young writer who'd like to write about fantasies?
Well, okay, so first of all, well, this is a fantasy series. I intend to write many more books after this that may not be fantasy, so I'm not just a fantasy author. But, well, the important thing if you want to write is it has to be something you're passionate about. You have to make time every single day to write. You have to be disciplined. It's important to remember it's never like people shouldn't worry about getting published. They should just focus and have the discipline to write. And nothing is too difficult, and there's no age that is too old to write or to.
Have you ever encountered a writer's block?
Yes, a question I've been asked before. There are
How
times.
do you clear it?
I think a few days ago I actually had writer's block. So one way to do it is to take a break from my iPad, maybe walk around a little bit. Sometimes.
So you write in your iPad. You don't use a pen and paper.
No, I use an
At all?
iPad.
Never
21st
ever?
century, so
Never ever.
no.
Okay. Have
So-
you read the book Finding Mr. Forrester or seen the movie? Finding
No.
Mr. Forrester. It's
No.
all about a writer's block. An amazing movie which you must see.
Okay.
Let's get back to the your suggestions, your views on writer's block.
Yeah, so some people prefer to take a break for a few days. I prefer to write through it. Maybe review a chapter I've already written, edit that a little bit. Sometimes I play some fantasy music, so that can sort of get my creative juices flowing again.
You're talking about writer's discipline, that you need to sit down and finish so many pages every day. Don't you think that an artist needs the real feel, the mood to write? Why would you make an artist force oneself?
Okay, well, I think each person can approach writing in a different way. Like some people take a couple of months and they write many hours a day and they finish a first draft within like 2-3 months. But I can take as long as a year sometimes. I prefer to write slowly, think out slowly. Like suppose I say I'm going to try and sit until 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock to write. I have to sit focused, and even if I get 2 pages that I end up deleting at the end of that, I have to sit and do that. So I like doing it like a discipline because my approach to it is more like I have to be disciplined, practice every day like that. But some people, if they want, they don't have to. They can write intensely for 6 months, take a break for a few months. It's up to each person. Yeah.
I have known many writers who have been good poets also. Do you delve into poetry? Do you like poetry? Do you write poetry?
No, I don't write poetry at all, and I can't. I did like art in school. I don't anymore, but sometimes I can look at a painting and you can get inspiration from that for a short story or for a book, or you can listen to a piece of music in any genre and start getting ideas for the character. So I think all the art forms are interconnected that way. And
I've known writers to travel a lot to get inspiration from various places and various experiences. Do you travel a lot?
well, yes. Well, I'm somebody who I don't like traveling a lot now. Obviously, with COVID, sadly, we can't. But yes, I have been to several countries: France, the UK, Switzerland, America. There are quite a few more countries I want to visit.
So writers, you write a lot about love, and you say that you need to experience. So have you ever experienced, and does any of your experience reflect in your writings? What is your views on love, marriage?
Yeah, once a girl's a certain age, every relative will be like, they will be asking my mom, aren't you looking for a person for this one? But you know, I don't think traditional marriage is for me. But yes, love is important, but no, nothing of my personal life came into the books. I think
So you
do
can write
need a
about
little-
love without experiencing love.
no, maybe I have, I won't tell you. But
No, you don't have to tell me. I'm just talking about generalities.
yeah, well, I think you do have to add some romance in a book. Like in a movie, you have an action movie, people like watching the chemistry between maybe 2 leads. and maybe that'll add to the spice of the movies. The same way in a book, yeah, I did give a potential love interest to Princess Aurora.
Generally, when you write, what kind of a person would your heroine be, or your central character be attracted towards?
Oh, this is an interesting question. Well, I think here's somebody like Princess Aurora, I have to say. In this book, this is long, long ago. So, you know, all of us have these romantic dreams of, you know, long, long ago. She'd probably like somebody who's like very chivalrous, but knowledgeable and understands who each character will have a different kind of person in mind. Maybe one character I write about in the future will not believe in love at all. Maybe one character in the future will have a bad marriage. So that's a very general question.
So in your books, your man must be understanding, chivalrous, and knowledgeable. Right?
Well, that's for this book, for Princess Aurora.
Okay, sorry.
Princess
Every book
Aurora
will be
wants
different.
that kind of a guy.
How did you live life during the COVID times?
Well, I've kept writing.
Was it a blessing in disguise?
Well, you know, I mean, it's a very sad time. I can't say blessing in disguise when there are so many people struggling without jobs. People have lost jobs. So many people have had to really, really struggle to make a living, to eat and all. And also, I was thinking about so many animals dumped on the road during COVID, which is very sad. Some of them were rescued, but not all can be rescued. We don't know how many died. I think in one way, for those of us who are more privileged, we're trying to look at the positive side, which is we realize how precious life is. We have family, we have a home, we have food to eat, music and laughter in the house, and it's a time to reflect. And as a writer, it did help me grow. I actually think I got more creative during this period, with more time to sit inside, reflect, spend more time on my book, spend more time with my adopted dog, Bonita, and who's very important.
May I have your views on climate change?
Well, I'm somebody who's very passionate about the environment, even before animals. So I've always, my family makes fun of me because I'm always telling people, compost your food waste, compost, compost, compost. If you don't, I'm going to teach you how to do it.
Post-Trump era, do you think Biden would be good for climate change and the world?
I really don't want to
Comment on any political things?
I don't
Your views about humanity leaving Earth and settling in Mars and other planets or interstellar space?
settling on Mars. You know, I just have to say the human race is, I mean, sadly, we abuse the planet, we abuse the earth, the water, pollute it. And I think even if we go to Mars, they'll start polluting that place. But I never know. It's exciting to think of the possibility of life on another planet. Let's see.
Have you read about Project Calico and life extension? Google is working on how to make human beings live for maybe 500 years or forever. And that work is going on. They've put in about $30 billion in that work, and they are almost close to it. If ever that works, would you choose to live longer?
No, you know, I think life is amazing, but it's good that it's short. Take 150 years, but
150
300
years.
and 400. Yeah, you can live for 400, but not me.
I would like to live forever and ever. Tell me all about your ideas of veganism.
Well, I became vegan because one, I
When
love
did you become a
animals.
vegan?
It's been about 2.5 years.
That's all?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is something I really love. This is a philosophy, and if veganism was a religion, I'd happily convert to it. Don't mean to offend anybody, but it is like my religion now. It's absolutely beautiful. It's not just about what
Do you believe in
eat.
religion before we go to this? Veganism?
Yes, I do. I do believe in religion, but it's, you know,
What kind
I
of?
believe in secularism a lot. I'm a Hindu, but I believe in, you know, respecting all religions, and it's very sad to read about violence clashes between two communities. So anyway, coming back to veganism. So this is something that's my philosophy in life. It's amazing. Love animals, and I respect those who want to eat meat. It's fine. I'm not an in-your-face vegan who tells people don't eat meat. So I became vegan for the earth and for the animals, you know. So like, it's more simple. There are a lot of places with vegan options now. Amazing vegan cheese, a lot of home kitchens, restaurant, but you have to be more simple. And since our South Indian food is vegan, that's what I love a lot.
Do you believe that plants have life?
Yes, plants do have life, but if you say plant has life also, it does, then we vegans will have nothing to eat because we can't just eat the air. and we need food, sustenance to live, so we have no choice but to
So
eat
it's a
plants.
lesser evil.
Yes.
Arya Rajan, it was a beautiful interview. I got to know so much about you, your writing, your life, your views, veganism, views on almost every thing. And I genuinely wish that in your own way you promote archery, because well, that's what interests me as an archer.
Yes.
You've been so much writing about art, the central character who does archery. So even I would like you to continue archery at some point of time in your life, and I really wish you that you become an amazing writer, a successful writer, a well-read writer, and I really look forward to your other books also. Thank you very, very much for having come today.
Okay.
May
Thank
God
you so
bless
much. Please do subscribe to the YouTube channel Shihan Hussaini. Oh my God, you're beeping.
No, it's just casual. I'll cut off the audio. There's nothing like catching or... No,